Misermani G. Hey, horror fans! Once again, it is me, the horror Misermani G. Welcome to a special edition of my awesome series, Women in Horror, where we celebrate women's contribution to the genre of horror. And I'm going to have a special episode as because I'm pretty sure you guys know by now the failure of one of my most anticipating horror films, which was The Bride, that was directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal. And I have two special, awesome horror girls with me. I have on my right, dressed up as the bride, is Jen from Jen's Reviews from the Grave.
Hi.
And below me, once again, back on the channel, once again, is my good friend Katie, because she is the blonde up front.
Blonde in front. That's right. Ready to get up front and personal with you guys about the bride.
And unfortunately, because we really wanted to enjoy this particular film, maybe especially because obviously it's about one of the most interesting universal monsters when it comes to the Bride of Frankenstein. We really want this film to succeed. I wanted to succeed mainly because it was a woman director, Maggie Gyllenhaal, but unfortunately, for some reason, the film failed. It bombed at the box office. Film only grossed 23.7 million worldwide on a budget of 990 million. I mean, good God. So, Katie, we'll just give you what was your overall opinion about The Bride?
I quite enjoyed The Bride.
Mm.
I loved the production design. I thought that Jessie Buckley, taking on basically four different characters into one, did a great job. I know that there are many people who had issue with her performance. I've actually seen a number of people who compared it to Norbit from when Eddie Murphy was nominated for an Oscar, and then Norbit, they thought she was going to lose her Oscar for Best Actress with Hamlet, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're seeing. That is not what I saw. I thought her relationship with Frank Christian Bale was incredible, and I loved the makeup on him was fantastic. But I love that, to turn this story on its head, you have all of these central and characters who really knew what the F was going on. They were all women, which of course they were. Of course they were. Why would anyone doubt it? I do think that possibly Penelope Cruz was maybe miscast, but she was the one who actually put together everything going on. Even though Peter Skarsgård has, his nice guy gumshoe character that didn't seem to know crap. I loved Annette Bening. I love the fact that, because the bride stood up and, they were standing up for the atrocities that were going on with women in Chicago, that became a movement to say F you to all these guys that have been, treating these women horrifically. I love that it, had My Chicago in it, even though didn't necessarily depict it in a great way. But, I think the way they made it look in the 1930s was great. And there's definitely more pluses for me than minuses. Is there a little bit of some confusion going on when the scene with the dancing and singing when Frank finally meets Jake Gyllenhaal's character? A little bit. Why was everyone in a trance and all of a sudden choreographed dancing? I wasn't sure if I was imagining that. I wasn't sure if that was Frank imagining it. But then when people actually were doing it, I'm like, sorry, what now? Why is this happening? At the same time, I was like, you know what? F it. I liked the choreography. I loved, again, that production design in there. The cinematography was beautiful. The costume design was amazing. And there were some parts where it's like, okay, you know what? This is enough with some of the stuff that was going on with the bride. And yet I realized, do they say that? Do I wish that would happen when stuff, happens to me, when it's like, okay, stop, harassing me, stop. Yeah, I wish that would stop. And that's more not on her part, but more, we don't get a break. Women do not get a break when you've got the men who think that this is okay, that they can get away with this. And I think this was kind of a big middle finger to people in Hollywood who have gotten away with way too much. And then, even still kind of get away with it now.
Yeah.
I would love it if the Me Too movement actually was going to be the Me Too movement always. But when they like, oh, that was 9 years ago, it's like, it's still happening. It's still happening. It's not something that should be like, well, we've fixed that problem. No, that hasn't been fixed at all. It's been a little dented. It's been, people are actually maybe discussing it more than they were. But I think, Maggie Gyllenhaal's taken this. It's like, look, these are guys who are in power that should not be in power. And this is how we're going to take them down and correct this stuff. And I think that there's a lot of people's expectations that they were expecting the Bride of Frankenstein. It is, but at the same time, Bride of Frankenstein, she was barely in it, like 5 minutes. She had no dialogue other than at the beginning, which is very similar to this one with Mary Shelley opening it up.
Yeah.
So big deal. You have a reinvention of this. I think, what she did, for the most part, again, was great. Do I think there's a lot of editing that happened in this that made this a different film that she probably believed? Yes. I would love to see a director's cut of this film. But yeah, I think this was mismarketed. Expectations were of something that, I can't help expectations. I don't watch trailers, so I go in not knowing anything. But I think, in my opinion, this was not a bad movie that not everyone, but that a number of people claim it was. And I think, as time goes on, this is going to be looked at very different occult classes. I mean, look, this, are you kidding me? Do you not think so many people are going to be this for Halloween? Give me a break. Like, she was fantastic. But yeah, that was my little, sorry, just like word vomited all over that. So yeah,
that was very eloquent, and you made some sharp points. You really did.
Hey, I love it. I love it when you talk.
That was me just like, all right, let's just get my thoughts out.
All right, Jen, what was your thing about the film?
Okay, so for me, it's complicated. If this was a relationship status, this would be very complicated because I get really angry at both sides, where people who are just going completely after the movie, but I can't lie, I have a few more issues than some people do. What I will say in the positives, though, cinematically, gorgeous looking film. I mean, my God, it is beautiful. The whole cast is just giving us so much to chew on. But Jessie Buckley, I didn't like the Mary Shelley, like just the way she was speaking. And this is just a personal thing. Great acting, fucking wonderful acting. Don't get me wrong there. But it was a little bit got on my nerves. And I heard a few other people who said it too, that when she was talking as Mary Shelley, it kind of grated on my nerves. And I heard a few other people say that too. But just fantastic acting. Christian Bale brought such a humanity and sympathy to his character, but also kind of has the incel vibe too, because, there is, I love the Herman Melville reference about, I would prefer not. I thought that was fucking genius. But I can see, and I don't mind, I don't always look at numbers like in a movie, yes, $90 million, but the box office scores weren't that good, right? But I don't care. Sometimes a movie's score doesn't necessarily mean anything, because they're, like we were saying, cult classics, sometimes it takes a while for a movie to reach its full potential. But I did hear a lot of people would walk out before the halfway mark, and I can understand why. I was looking at my watch. It did run a little long, but one of the things things that I do applaud Maggie Gyllenhaal for. I think her heart was in the right place. I think this was drowned by its own ambition a little bit. But to counter my own bullshit, I heard somebody on a TikTok say, and this was a trans person, and this is very close to me because my daughter, my oldest daughter, is trans, and they were going, you know, that some people were saying the message was just too loud, like it's all about women. And I was kind of having that point of view too. And then a trans person got on and was saying, you know what, this is the time we need to be loud because, you know, in Kansas, they're taking away people's, you know, the markings, who they really are on the, you know, and people are losing their autonomy. So we do need these movies to be this loud. And I thought, you know what, I come from a really privileged place and I didn't think of that. So it made me think. Overall, I did have problems with it, and I also, another thing I really hated, and this was from coming from some women, some stupid bitches that just pissed me the fuck off. They were going, well, Maggie Gyllenhaal's 40, but she looks like 80. And I'm like, what the fuck does that have to do with her fucking directing? It drove me fucking, and it was women of all people. I'm like, you fucking bitches, I hate you. And also, she's an attractive woman. Like film and beauty is subjective, fucking people. Like, get off her fucking back. I hate the people that were just going after and dogging her because her heart was in the right place and she really put her heart and soul. You can tell. I had problems with the movie, but you could tell she put her heart and soul in this, and she should be applauded for it. It didn't completely work for me, but I don't think we should tar and feather the woman either. So, but I didn't love it as much as I think you did, but I do appreciate it. But it did run a little long, and there was a few problems, but the acting was phenomenal, gorgeous to look at, just a few little hiccups. And like I said, the message was a little loud for me, and then I looked at it from another perspective, and I'm like, well, maybe the message should be loud. So,
yeah, and I totally understand that. And yeah, like I said, I get that it's loud. I think it's time to be loud. I think we need to be loud. And I know that's a little bit like it again, is this a big film, you know, really standing up for Me Too? Yeah, I think it is. And I think even the film about Me Too was like hushed. And it's like, oh, and I remember doing a review with that on that. And in the comments, like seeing like, well, you know, it didn't do well at the box. I'm like, I give a crap.
No,
like,
I don't even.
This was a well-made movie. And it's like, if that's all you're worried about, not telling the story and not how the atrocities that were done towards women, then it's like, then shut the hell up. But its thing is, that wasn't my platform to reply to those people. But then the person whose platform was, they didn't seem to reply to them. So I'm like, and I'm done.
No, my opinion of the film was that I thought Maggie Gyllenhaal did a great job as far as how the film looked.
Yes.
The production design was great. I liked the look of the film, kind of looked real glossy in most places like that. Like the costume designs were great. Obviously, Jesse Buckley did a fantastic job acting wise. The story for me was kind of hit or miss because it seemed like for me, it was like the stories were going in two different areas. It didn't have like for me, a straightforward narrative, especially at the time when they go to the whatchamacallit and he meets his idol, which was
Jake Gyllenhaal.
It was Ronnie Reed.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, when we see that early in the film, we see Jake Gyllenhaal right there, and he did it. That's his friend. I says, "Oh no, we're going to get Jake Gyllenhaal actually appear live." I thought that kind of took some of the aspect away from the film because I truly did love the relationship between Frankenstein's monster and I thought Kristen Bell and Jesse Buckley were great together because you get that, and then you get kind of like a Bonnie and Clyde aspect, and then we get that dance number scene that kind of just appears and then it goes away. Like I said before, I didn't think the message that they were trying to portray in this film wasn't as strong as opposed to I've seen in other films where the message is such or strong, So it's like, say,
Poor Things would be where I would say.
Black Christmas.
Oh, Black Christmas. Okay.
That's yeah.
It's just for me. I just thought that the story was unfortunately a bit jumbled, and it wasn't a cohesive narrative. I thought Annette Bening was fantastic. I love her character. I thought she was
Yeah.
fantastic because I like how she, uh, Frank automatically thinks it's a man, but she says, "Oh no, it's a woman." So,
Again, we're
yeah.
playing into the expectations of the day of, because she's a
Mhm.
doctor, gonna be, of course it's a man. Why wouldn't it
Yeah.
be?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know because it's a man. She's like, "Oh no, it's me. I'm that guy. I'm that woman."
What
But
did
I was yeah, but Annette, but obviously she's obviously having fun in that particular role because you can see her. She's just having fun in every scene that she's in.
what did you both think of Peter Skarsgård's character, and especially his reveal about how he was connected to the bride and who she is?
A little forced, but that whole plot with him and Penelope Cruz, I had a little bit of problems, and I thought it kind of drugged the movie down just a little bit. I got what they were doing. I got what they were doing, but I wished it could have been. That's where the problem lies with me. Is I wish the story would have been a little bit more tightened up in places. And I've heard people, and I kind of agree, they could have taken it out. Like these two kind of drugged the film as opposed to bringing it up. That's just my own personal thing, but yeah.
No,
Yeah, because
I can see that. I do agree with you. I think his reveal, like of who the bride was, and like before she even became, you know, it's like she's Mary Shelley, she's the bride. She's Mary Shelley and the
I know.
bride, and then she's like what, Patricia, or I
Ida.
forget, Ida, and then
yeah,
um Pat, because then Frank calls her a different name, like Patty or Pay, and that, and
Penny, maybe. I think
yes,
it's Penny.
Penny.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
mhm,
So it's like when Peter Skarsgård's character knew her as Ida, and then how he felt like he failed her because he basically, admitted, I had like, she was my in for, to getting
Mm-hmm.
this. We had a relationship, and I basically left her out to dry and all that stuff. I'm like, yes, you just took this, like, My Girl Friday sort of thing, aspect of the movie and your relationship with Penelope Cruz. Now you're just kind of a D bag who just, totally. And it's one of those things. It's like, I felt like that was almost like, not all guys. It's like, oh, he's a good one. I'm like, no, he's not. No, he's not. Then, I mean, he basically just said, it's like, yeah, I'm kind of the reason why, maybe a little bit, that she got
Is
killed,
dead.
or would have gotten killed more if it's like, whoops, oh no, it's like, but now she's back, so now I don't feel, it's like, no, you should feel bad. You should feel bad. And that's the thing. That's what I got from his character. And also, I just, especially with it being, it's because it's set in like the 1930s and stuff, I felt like with Penelope Cruz that there would have been a lot more catcalling and a lot more, hey hun, hey toots, give me some coffee, or why don't you get your boss to come over here and all that. I felt like
Yeah.
that wasn't as much. And I mean, honestly, yeah, it could have been a lot, but I feel like it really would have been a lot during
Yeah.
that time. I mean, we've all seen, countless movies with Cary Grant and Katharine Hepburn and Rosalind Russell, and it's all like, hey toots, hey sweetie, hey do this. It's like, oh, would you shut up?
And
Hey,
at the time, movies, that was supposed to be charming. And I also had a real problem when she clears out with all the male cops. I thought there would be more pushback from those cops because it was so easy. And I thought,
yes,
yeah, that was
there,
a big problem.
yeah, I feel like they're definitely, especially since that's like at that, I mean, if you're going to be realistic for that time, let's be realistic for that time. I mean, the
Well,
fact
even
that she
now, let's be
even
real, even
has
now.
a job in there, they're like, wait, what are you doing? It's like there would have been so many stares and like, no, that's not, this isn't what you're doing. It's like, is your husband coming? Is your brother? Are you holding this for your, like, what's
Your
happening
father.
here and stuff? That I felt there would have been way more. I agree. There should have been way more pushback. And
Yeah.
then I also felt when Skarsgård did that reveal, that honestly Penelope Cruz would have been like, you effer, like on it, like you are a piece of crap. But
Yeah,
she didn't. So
I felt that review was a bit forced because it came out of nowhere. And it's like this: if you're going to have a review like that, you want to at least draw some subtle hints before that reveal comes out. So at least that way, it kind of makes a little bit more sense. It's like M Night Shyamalan's The Visit. We get some subtle off the wall hints before we realize that that's not the children's grandparents at all. But there were subtle hints
Mhm.
sprinkled throughout the film to make us, why are they getting mad at these two older people for it? What's going on? Why are they fussing at them? Why are they yelling at them all of a sudden? Then we find out, like I said before, it's like those subtle hints would have made that reveal probably a little bit better. Because I don't have a problem with it, but it's just like, to me, it just came out of nowhere. It just seemed like it was forced in at the last minute. It's
Yeah.
like, well, we got to have something with his character. But yeah, I'm surprised he didn't treat Penelope Cruz character as, because I expected that. I was waiting for that, but he doesn't do it. So I was like, wow, man, you're not going to do it. So I thought he was going to treat her just as like they were just as bad as they were treating the other women in the film.
I think the reason, well, to be honest, I would say I know the reason why he didn't do that is because she is way smarter than him.
Mhm.
And she was the one who was giving the answers and stuff like that, even though when he gave the reveal, of his relationship with Ida and stuff like that, that was the only like big, light bulb. Oh, this is why that happened. Which, when he's about to shoot Ida / Penny / Mary Shelley and Frank, I wish they would have had like a flashback scene to him and Ida like getting close and stuff like that. So then we know it's like, oh, you guys knew each other and
Yeah.
stuff like, and oh, there was some sort of thing before, that happened. But then they kind of like threw it in right before he did the reveal, and I was like, but yeah, I think the reason why he didn't, because they had like that Rosalind Russell Clark Gable sort of tit for tat sort of thing,
Yeah,
which
very
is
much
one of
so.
the things I love in film. It's probably why I'm not in a relationship, because it's like, yeah, I love that like back and forth. Like, that's not healthy. That's really not. And same. That's one of the reasons why I love Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Because I love that back and forth between Willie and Indiana.
Mhm.
But that, I felt what was going on with their two characters, like their colleagues. He knows that he's lucky to have Penelope Cruz's character there because she's the one like basically feeding him all the correct answers. He has to take the credit because no one's going to believe, because she is but a woman. But yeah, I just felt like he didn't end up. And then, at the end, when I guess spoiler, it's been out already a few months.
Oh yeah.
At the end, when he is back in Chicago, and then all of the working girls are at the mob boss's lair, I'll say it, with the tongues of all the jars, open tongues, all that stuff. It would have been nice. I don't know if they were like getting ready to cut that guy's tongue off and stuff like that, if that would have been implied more. I think that's what I was hoping was going to happen.
A little more poetic. That'd been more,
Yeah,
much more
poetic.
poetic.
I actually thought that was going to happen too. It's just like in The Handmaid's Tale. I think it was one of the seasons where one of the commanders gets his
Yep.
confidence when all the handmaids tells throw rocks at him and beat the shit out of him.
Mhm.
And they murder him. Spoiler
Yeah.
for Handmaid's Tale, they fucking murder him, and I'm like, yay!
Yes. Yes.
Do you-
Oh my
do
God.
you
If you
think-
guys want to do a podcast regarding The Handmaid's Tale and the Testaments, please, I'm all in. Let's do
Oh,
it.
so am I. I'm digging it. I was worried because I was like, is it going to be as good as it is?
So good.
You-
And what I love is that if you have not seen The Handmaid's Tale, which I do, I recommend everyone to watch it, especially during these times. Please watch it, because there's some mirror stuff going on, kids, that really, Canada's looking good. But if you have not seen The Handmaid's Tale, the Testaments,
You can
go
still
in.
follow it.
Yeah, they have like a flashback. You get enough, and believe me, it's just eye-opening and jaw-dropping and insanity personified, and it is phenomenal. And
It
my
is.
favorite part is that Chase Infinity is a star. This isn't, people could say that because of one battle after another. This over the top. Like, I am loving. I cannot wait for her to get her Emmys and her Oscars and so many awards, because this girl is like, she is killing it. So yeah, watch The Testaments. I'm not getting paid to say this.
No. Who ever thought a tea party would be so fucking hardcore?
Woo! Yeah.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Do you think people had different expectations when The Bride first came out?
Yes.
Yes.
Hmm.
I think they honestly thought it was going to be more The Bride of Frankenstein. And I think that, again, they were thinking that it was going to be more Frankenstein and then The Bride is the accessory. But that's why it's not called The Bride of Frankenstein. It's called The Bride. It's all her. And there are a lot of things in The Bride of Frankenstein that are still in this film.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's the thing that I think people forget. Like I said, in the beginning, Mary Shelley's talking about the story. In the beginning, Mary Shelley is, talking about her life and how she's a ghost and how, the children
patriarchy
that she lost and what she had to go through and, everything with her husband and stuff like that. And she didn't get to live the life that she thought, she would get to live. Wasn't annoying when she took over and just kept yelling stuff in the theater. It's like, girl, it's called incognito. It's called on the run. What are you doing going off in a movie theater? Like, keep it down, stop with the coffee, and take a Xanax. I don't know which pill to take. Take whatever you need to calm down. Stop the cocaine. I know it's the 1930s. Maybe you had some Coca-Cola that actually had Coke in it. But simmer down. Look at him. He's lived 100 years and he knows.
Christian Bale does bring the humanity, again, but there is a little bit of incel in him because, he does lie to her, like men do sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Spoiler alert, men lie to women sometimes, even if they love you.
Yeah,
I know, yeah, because during that part of the film, it's, oh no, he's lying to her. Oh no, he's going to ruin the relationship.
I thought that was very smart, though. I liked that he's not all good, not all bad. I thought that was really, and I also love, and I did hear Maggie Gyllenhaal say this, the movie is really about loving your inner monster. And when you see them together, you get that. You got to accept yourself, especially with the character with Jake Gyllenhaal. Like, that's when Frank kind of realizes, it brings up idol worship to, star worship, which is a thing in this day and age. So yeah, it's smart. There is really good, smart commentary in it.
There's so much smart commentary. Like, one of the scenes that I liked, which nothing makes a guy who thinks he's in love with you angrier than telling him no, and then how ugly you it's like, well, you're an ugly man anyway. That scene where the bride is trying to in the pool thing, and she's like, rubbing on Frank and let's do this, and he's like, no, I don't want to do that. It's like, wow, I was just trying to be nice. Like, you're an ugly. It's like, girl, I know where she heard that. Soon it's like, oh, nothing. It's like, hey, gorgeous, how are you? No, I have a boyfriend. Yeah, I was just trying to be nice. You're a dog. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
And you're fat too. You're not only ugly, you're fat.
Yeah. Well, you should be okay, thank you. Bye.
Yes, I'm so sorry I'm missing out on this.
Yes, wow, you're really reeling that in. It's like, oh no, my loss. What?
And I'm sure this is not compensating for a small penis at all.
No. What? No. Yeah, but there's so many different things in the film like that, where
there
the
are.
bride would say things that are typically said, by a man trying to disparage the worth of a woman and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, hear it loud. It's like, and I feel like there's a number of times when guys are like, well, this. I'm like, no, because that's usually what a guy says to, a woman. And it's like every time they just want something. And it's like, it's never without some sort of like, well, I took you out, so you should take me home. It's like, what are you talking about? That was like your Applebee's $40 dinner. You think that's going to be that? It's like, no.
If you're lucky, I've been with guys, it's way less.
Oh.
Applebee's is kind of up there. I guess that's too much of an insight on my life, but never mind.
Got some big spenders Applebee's out there, kids.
Yeah. But there's some good ones. Like, I don't want to, but there are some good men out there too. Like I'm a mother of I have a daughter and I have a son, and I've known some good ones too, and I've known some women that can be bitches. It's just everybody. I don't like to put
Well, and it's like you were saying with the women who were talking about Maggie Gyllenhaal looking. It's like, why does that matter? When is the last time that it's like, you know what? Martin Scorsese really needs some Botox. Like, I don't know who he thinks he is coming out here looking that way and not doing, his skincare regime. Come on, man. Like, you've got a rep to protect. No one in the world has said that but me right now, because it doesn't matter. Oh my God.
It really does. And it hurts worse coming from like man, it's one thing, but it hurts worse coming from other women. Cause like we all know what it's like. And these women, they were all these like, princess, and I don't like to, and I'm judging right now, but they were all kind of princessy, Botox people. And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, the woman's, trying to make art and beauty in the world. Does that not matter?
I think that's what made it worse. Obviously, when I heard some of the chuds and their joyous rejoicing over the fact that the film failed, but they were always talking about, Maggie Gyllenhaal. I says, what does Maggie Gyllenhaal's looks have to do with the film? It's like, it's the one thing I don't like when it comes to these nitwit grifters and their constant criticizing that has nothing to do with the film itself. It's nothing. Her looks has nothing to do with the film itself. If you're going to criticize the film, do something a little bit more. I didn't like the story. I didn't like how the film looked. The acting was bad. Do some criticize. Don't talk about, well, I don't like Maggie Gyllenhaal because she looks old.
But it's kind of the same thing as people who were criticizing the movie. And sure, there's some valid criticism to be had, but I've heard people, oh, it's stupid because he was doing, see, this is why women can't direct. I mean, if that's your argument, shut the fuck up.
Oh, like, shut the fuck up. Oh, we can curse. I didn't realize I've been.
Oh, yeah, we can curse on here.
No, shut the whole fuck up with that. Also, have you noticed that these bigger studios why do we know the budgets when it's like, I feel like with this and with Nia DaCosta, with 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple.
That was a masterpiece.
Why do we know the budgets of these films? But I don't remember hearing about the budgets of 28 Years Later. That was done last year. I don't remember hearing about the budgets of some of these other, like, Halloween Ends, all that stuff. I don't remember hearing about the budgets of those films, but it's also, it's like, well, we gave her this money and look what she did. And
women spend, we need a man to kind of look over our shoulder and go, do you really need that dress, honey? You
have anyone looked in the closet to see if there's a lot of purses and shoes along with the cinematography? Because where did that money go? It's like, I hope no one really said that, but people, it's like, they're putting like, this was $80 million. And it's like, why was that the biggest thing about the film? Like, this is a brand new vision of what the bride is, what the Bride of Frankenstein and like, everything that she's gone through. They took a woman who was murdered for trying to help other women. They randomly found her, brought her back to life. And then in that time, she then helped other women. that no one seems to be talking about. But
Yeah.
no one it's like, well, why did it happen? Because I'm sure when Frank did what he did, when he freaking crushed those two guys' skulls and stuff like that, and there was a big crowd, that is stuff that has happened so many times, I'm sure, in those alleys that no one stood up, no one did anything, and you guarantee those two guys that were the victims, much like the victims in the Joker, that's not the first time they had done that. It definitely, if they had got that, wouldn't have been the last time, but it definitely was the last time, because Frank actually was like, hell no. I don't know. As soon as one of the guys said, grab her legs, yeah, no, you, no, you guys, that's way too easy for that to come out of your mouth, that you haven't done that before. Yeah. Head crushing is what you deserve.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I would tell my son if he heard that. I would hope that he would, do the same. That's what, as a decent human being, that's what you do.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta stand up. You gotta say no. You gotta say, this is bad behavior. Cut the shit out. What the hell are you doing? How do you think that this is the way humans treat each other? It's not supposed to be. So don't do it. But everyone's like, oh, well, I wasn't sure. And it's like, oh, come on. Come on. Don't make it an excuse. Like, you gotta stand up.
But a lot of the girls that got their tongues, they were just prostitutes, so they don't really matter. And that's another commentary on society. Even today, it's getting a little better. But if you're a poor, if you're a minority, if you're a woman, we don't really care. Now, if you're a blonde, blue-eyed girl, maybe you'll get some in the papers. But even then,
well, you're not blue-eyed, are you? Are you, Katie?
No, I'm green-eyed. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's pretty good.
I'm even more rare. It's even more rare than I am.
You got the blonde, but you got green.
Feel a little triggered here, Jen. Okay.
But even then, even some blonde, blue-eyed girls don't get it. But you have a better chance than if you're another, something else. It's the world we live in. And I know there's people thinking, oh, Jesus Christ, but the reason we're bringing it up is because it's still a problem, and it shouldn't be. Like, it shouldn't matter, if you're in a situation, it shouldn't matter what you're wearing if you get raped. That there's a whole discussion there. And that's why we're trying to bring it in film and things, is because it does need to be talked about, and we talk about it, but we still don't talk about it enough.
Oh yeah, no, I was just giving you shit. No, it totally is. It's like it really goes back to that Time to Kill with Matthew McConaughey and his monologue about what happened. It's like having what happened to Samuel L. Jackson's little daughter, and then at the end it's like, now imagine that she's white. And it's like, now what would you do? And it's like, God, I give myself chills thinking about it. It's like, oh, but it's like, it's a child, it's a life. It's like, and that's one of the things that I always applaud Sean Baker when he has done his films, that he shows the lives of sex workers. It's not, sex worker number 8 or all that stuff. They have names, they have lives, they have, families. They do, every day and night, what is going on in their lives. It's not this, just because this is what they do for money, that makes them less than anything. And I'm so glad that, with his films, it's shedding a light and really putting a focus on that to, again, make it like, this is an occupation. It is not something that you then, it's like, have to
devalue you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's the oldest profession in the world.
It is.
Candyland. If you haven't seen Candyland, that's one that humanizes and shows what a family, like, it's a chosen family, but that's a good one.
I'm gonna have to check that out. I just love the Florida Project and everything about it. It's like so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is. It's the fact that, the women that had that stuff done to them, it's like, well, they were escorts, I think is what they were called at that time. And it's like,
classy.
Yeah. Stuff like that. But, when they stood up and tried to speak out, or something happened to them and they objected, they got their tongues cut out and their throats slashed, and they were never seen again, or they were found and different parts and all that stuff. But that's, at least Ida, wanted to make sure that there was justice and to get these atrocities to stop. Even and what did I mean? And it wasn't the police that stopped him. It was the women that are like, enough is enough. We're standing up. We're taking over. And it, caused a whole revolution. Well, at least in Chicago, and I think a little bit in New York and maybe Indiana. I don't know if it's the entire United States, but at least from what we saw in the places. Yeah.
I do wish we would have gotten a little bit more. That was another thing, but then there was so much going on in the movie. I get why we couldn't. Wish we would have spent a little more time with it and a little bit more. It does feel like the movie kind of leaves it a little bit. Or did it to you? Or
no? I think it's because it is such a long movie, and it is with the newspaper clippings and stuff like that. Maybe if they had done little montage of like the papers going through and like showing the headlines and stuff like that, or doing that more. I almost think that this would have been better as like a 3-part miniseries kind of thing than as a film, because there's just so much that is happening that, you need that third act to really be a big focus, especially when the first 2 people that she murders, you feel the pain. Like she's like, that's not what I meant to do. I just wanted to do this. And it's like, is it the Mary Shelley talking? Is it Ida talking? Is it Penny talking and stuff? And then when they're at, the ballroom and she shoots the guy and she just like, it's like that. But when it's the cop, it's like, no, now I know who needs to have this. And this is someone who needs to have this. One of the things that I did get discouraged at was when they do go back to Chicago and are at Annette Bening's doctor's, and they just leave the car on the sidewalk with the doors open. I'm like, again, girl, come on, you can park. No one would have noticed you were there if you had just done. It's like, you're so blatantly obvious. Why do you have to be so extra? Seriously, why? Just like stroll, just get that. I mean, I know Frank needs to be helped. I know this, but it's like, if you just even shut the doors, that would have really done,
a lot.
Maybe not had like screaming fireworks on the car. It's like, look at me.
But maybe that's a commentary too. Maybe her character just feels like, I'm tired of just, being quiet and, shutting up. So maybe there's commentary. I don't know that there is, but it could be.
No, honestly, I love that outlook on it. And you know what? I'm going to take it. I'm going to run with it. And I'm like, yeah, you're absolutely right. That is why that was like, F you. I'm not going to be quiet. I'm going to be loud as hell, because I mean, she's been quiet all her life. So yeah, see that? You just totally flipped that. That's why she was doing that. I totally believe that is right. And that's what, Meg, I didn't even think of it like that. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you. I very rarely get told I'm right, so it's nice to hear.
No, I see, and this is why I love doing vlogcasts. It's like, because it's just like that. You know what? God damn it, you're right. That is why it's like, yeah, go. Thank you. See, loud. Be loud. Be louder. Be, put all the attention on you. That is what she was doing, because it's like, I don't want to go, I don't want to be quiet anymore. I want to scream from the rooftops. I want everyone to see, because she had to be, in the dark for so long. So no, I think you are absolutely right.
Well, thank you. You just made my day. Thank you.
Oh, no. I mean, I love that. I love to be like, you know what? Yeah, actually, that's why. Okay. See, there you go. This movie has been for 3 months, and it's just like that. It's like, God damn it, I didn't even think of it like that. Yeah, thank you.
How would you compare this to the 1985 film with Sting and Jennifer Beals?
It's a lovely movie to look at too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that, well, let's look at like this. If you go from The Bride of Frankenstein to the 1980s The Bride to this Bride, you have The Bride of Frankenstein, the bride's in it. I'm going to be very generous and say 25%. If
Yeah.
you go to the 1985, I think The Bride, 86,
I think so.
that is 50% because it's like half Frank's story, the creature, and then half the bride and how they're coming together. With this, it is 90% the film about her. And that's something, because it is, you know, when you have any of these films about the Bride of Frankenstein, that it's primarily about, you know, Frankenstein's creature. I was about to say Frankenstein. That is incorrect. It's Frankenstein's creation, not creation.
And I've heard other people who've really had a problem with this, and I'm like, yeah, but she was doing the bride. Like, there's people who will say, you know, the actual Frankenstein, you know, the bride never existed because he destroyed her, and I'm like, yeah, but that's not what we're doing. But I heard somebody do a video on it that was like, well, she's wrong. Maggie Gyllenhaal's wrong because she's obviously never read the source material, and I'm like, oh my god.
Don't get me started on word for word with the source material.
Don't get me started about that either.
Done, so of course we want to do something different. I would be pissed if she did do.
It's called an adaptation, you nitwits.
Pedantic nitwits.
Yeah. And
don't get me started about.
You have the source material. She, you know, was respectful for the source material. She had the different characters. She brought up Mary Shelley, you know, and everything that he did. Because I, you know, watching the newest Guillermo del Toro Frankenstein was one of the first times that I was watching it and seeing it's like, this is about absentee fathers and how you have people who say, I want to spread my seed and do this and all that, but they have no idea how to be an actual parent. Yeah. And then when they do, it's like, I remember so well the scene where he's like, Victor, if anyone has a child and has not had a child, repeat the same word over and over and over. And it's like, oh my God, I get it. I'm here. I get it. I'm what? That is Parenthood 101 right there. And it's like, you can't walk away, but Victor did. And that, to me, I was like, wow, I've never seen Mary Shelley's Frankenstein like this. Like, and how frustrated she must have been to have a creation. And like, but yet it's like all of a sudden, poof, no one wants to take care of it. It's like this, this is lifelong. You don't just make something, then walk away. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. And that's
actually with my two.
No.
And a lot of people. So, it's not funny, but if I laugh, I'll start crying. So it's funny.
But that's the thing, like with the bride, he wanted to, the creature wanted to have a companion. Yes, he wanted love, but the main thing is that he had been so alone and hidden, and he wanted to have someone that he could do so many things with. And as you were saying that, you know, maybe this was because she wanted to be loud. She wanted to do this. And thinking back on it, he's been hidden and afraid all of his life because of the scars of who, like when people found out who he was, that's the, you know, those were the repercussions. Yeah. That was what happened. So for him to have this companion who's not afraid to be loud and stuff like that, that's an eye-awakening, you know, a transformative experience for Frank. And I never, you know, thought of it really like that until you're like, you know, she was done being quiet, and that's all he wanted was to be quiet. He just wanted to, like, you know, let's just sneak in, let's go unnoticed. But it's like, no, let's dance, let's live, let's actually have a life and not try and be compartmentalized into something where we're being owned by somebody else. Like, let's go and do this. And when he did, you know, that first night they were together on the dance floor and all that stuff, and then when someone tried to take that away from him and, you know, go back, that's what led to the murders that were committed. But at the same time, you know, like I said, that's justice. I don't know.
No, I agree. I totally agree. Another film you should check out, Bystanders. I think you'd really dig it. It's an indie one, but check it out. You'd like it.
Thank you.
Do you think Maggie Gyllenhaal will get another chance behind the director's chair?
Yes,
Yeah.
I definitely do. I mean, I loved what is it, The Lost Daughter? Yeah.
And it was also based on a book. And that's an interesting thing of her. She always seems to take it from books, which is interesting.
Yeah. And I think she's got a great working relationship with Jessie Buckley.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think that she has that knack of really fine tuning her fellow, the actors' performances and stuff like that. Because one thing I learned about when I was doing a review for Showgirls, when I would like just rip apart Elizabeth Berkley, that was mainly Paul Verhoeven who was like, do it like this. And it's like, what? I thought all this time that she was a crappy actress and you're the one who told her to do this. So that's the thing. That is the director's job. The director's like, do it like this. And I feel like Maggie Gyllenhaal directing, she really has gotten some amazing performances. That's that trust, the openness to like trying new things with all these people. I mean, she's worked with, Oscar nominated, Oscar winning people in both the film. Has she only done 2? Yeah.
She's only done 2 for directing. Yeah.
And I mean, The Lost Daughter that's the film that introduced me to Paul Mescal.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for that, Maggie Gyllenhaal. But yeah, I think she'll definitely get another film. Again, is it going to be front page news? Like Maggie Gyllenhaal is going to direct this film and it's got a $65 million budget. I don't care about the budget. I just want to see the film. I want to see what she does, and all that stuff. And if she doesn't, then that is an atrocity because this is not one of those movies that it's like, take away her director's card, put her in jail, never see the light of day, the director gods. She is not earned this. It's bleh. I'm like, no.
I know. The real reason why I asked that because after Wonder Woman 1984, Patty Jenkins hasn't sniffed of the film yet.
Yeah.
Oh, that's depressing.
Yeah, I know.
What
about you, Jay?
There's been, I think she will. And I would be interested for her. And it's not because I don't think she can do a big project, but seeing what she did with a big project, I'd be curious to see what she would do with a smaller project. And if something she's really passionate about, because I think that's the key with her. I think she pours in so much passion and it's what she believes. And that's good because she's not, I imagine there were people probably telling her, Maggie, maybe you should do it this way, maybe to make it more mainstream, more accessible. And I like the fact she had the balls to say, no, this is my vision. This is what I want to do. I think she will. Now, I think she might go in with a little bit of a target on her back because I've heard a lot of assholes that, again, it's fine to have criticisms of the movie, but I heard some people to hate on her just to fucking hate on her. And yeah, but I think she will. And I think she's really brilliant. And I also hate the fact that people were throwing, well, she's a Nepo baby. She didn't ask to be born. I mean, yeah, she has perks, but you know what? Who cares? She's probably learned something from these people. And it's not her fault. It's not even a fault. It's just what it is. But I don't see how holding her heritage against her, or not her heritage, but who she comes from is, her problem.
They don't say anything about nepotism when it comes to the Baldwin brothers.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a double standard. Funny that. But I do think she will, and I think she's brilliant, and I wonder, and I don't want to be one of these women because again, I don't hate men. There's some wonderful men out there, but I wonder if there is a certain type of man that like gets threatened if there's a woman that might be a little smarter than they are. And I'm not saying we all are like everyone's, but you know what I mean? Because I don't want women to go, well, no, I don't hate men, guys. I swear I don't. I love them, particularly an Irishman, but that's beside the point. But do you think that some men do feel threatened by a woman that's might be a little smarter than they are?
Oh,
I do.
And I can promise you there are a lot of men who feel it's like I have felt that my whole life. And yeah, no, I will always recall a time when I knew the name of the gentleman who played Buffalo Bill in Silence of the Lambs, and that someone kept telling me it was John Malkovich. I'm like, no, it's not John Malkovich. It's like, yeah, it is. I'm like, no, John Malkovich was doing In the Line of Fire at that time, and one, it doesn't even look like John Malkovich. It's like, oh, really? Well, what's his name? Ted Levine. Well, how do you know? It's like, because I'm smart and I know what I'm talking about. It's like, well, why don't you prove it? I'm like, why don't you prove it? I know. Who do you it's like, oh, why don't we bet $1,000? I'm like, okay. And then they're trying to, I mean, I remember this scenario because my friend was right next to me, and it's like, okay. I'm like, great. He's like, well, I bet you don't even have $1,000. Like, I don't need to have $1,000 because I'm right. I'm right, motherfucker. What you need to have is $1,000. So do you have the money to back that up? Then shut your mouth. Because
how do you get Tom Malkovich confused with Ted Levine? It's like
because they were dumbasses. Because do you know what it's like to be? I am Cati. You know, in the beginning of the millennium in the 1990s. I mean, I was one when they would have movie games and all that stuff. It would be me against 8 people, and guess who would win?
You.
Exactly. Yeah. But then the guys would be like, oh, she's cheating. Why? Because I have a brain? Yeah, because my brain is smarter than yours. That's the only reason why I'm cheating.
I mean, that's the overall problem, is that some men are just terrified of women. And that's just that, because they have this preconceived notion that, hey, I'm a man. I'm me. Yes. Me powerful, me strong, me smarter.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, Jen, I don't hate men. I just hate men who hate women.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I don't think you hate men, but I think there are some men out there, but then it's hard. I'm kind of the product of the other thing, because that's one thing just watching you. I like how outspoken you are, and see me, certain things in my life, it makes me question, like, men have told me this or that, and I'm a very sensitive creature, so I take that and I'll play it late in the dark hours of the night. And I think a lot of women do, like, and I admire like women who can go, you know what, fuck you. I haven't gotten there yet. I'm still dwelling on a comment where a guy told me not to laugh so much and I had a horrible voice, and I'm like, okay, I'll work on that. And like, I shouldn't, but it hurts me.
What?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Okay,
but I mean,
why don't you take your why doesn't that guy take his toilet breath and like shove something in his mouth and like just choke on it? It's like, how dare you? How dare you say that about your beautiful laugh? How dare you, sir?
She's got a lovely laugh.
I sound like a witch, but it's authentic. I could do hee, the cutesy laugh, but that's not authentic.
Witches are awesome.
Yeah. I sound like a witch. I know it, but it's okay. That's who I are.
All right, my final question for this little panel here. Would you think to actually do another Bride film?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Inevitable.
Mm-hmm. You think to have
multiple reasons. One being people don't want original ideas.
Yeah,
so there's always and as long as someone holds the rights and someone can make money off it, there will be another Bride film. Will it be more the traditional Bride like this? Maybe. Will it be something more like Maggie Gyllenhaal's? I wouldn't mind seeing, I would think it'd be interesting to see both. Or if they did a rendition where, they had a Dr. Frankenstein who made this as the creature first, and then they wanted to be a bride, so they then end up, making the husband of the bride.
That'd be interesting. That would be
right. Put that twist in. Hollywood, trademark it right here. I said first. No one else is trying that. Let's do that. No. But who knows? That could happen in the next few years. Again, there's so many original ideas, but they want to go back with the things we're comfortable with, the things that are beloved. And this is what the Bride is getting close to 100 years. It just celebrated its 95th anniversary, I think, or Frankenstein celebrated 95 and Bride's close to that. Anyway, the girl looks great for her age. Like, she looks phenomenal. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if when they both those icons turn 100 from their original release date, that they have in fact, I don't know. It's like, I feel like with the original Universal monsters, like all of them are having, this big resurgence. I mean, even in the past, what, 24 months. I mean, you've got Wolfman, you've got The Bride, you've got The Mummy. I mean, you've had some Draculas that I'm not necessarily a modern, well, kind of. But I mean, yeah, there's just so many, with those OG Universal monsters. And yeah, I would not be surprised when all of them turn 100. They have this huge thing.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, because it wouldn't surprise me if they'll do another Bride film. I don't know if they'll get a woman direct. I don't know if they'll get another woman director to do it. Then more likely they'll just get a man to do it. That's
because a man would know about a woman.
Unfortunately, I don't think, unless somebody actually another woman fights for it, then she decides, I know how to make a good Bride film. Mm-hmm.
Nia DaCosta would. Everything she touches is, I love her. Love her.
Yeah, if she did that with Tessa Thompson, that'd be good.
It would.
I'm already thinking of it. No, Nia DaCosta.
I think Tessa Thompson would make a good Bride character.
Huh?
I think she'd make a good Bride character.
She would be a phenomenal Bride character. And I mean, again, we're talking about, female directors. Nia DaCosta. I mean, 28 years later, The Bone Temple, I can just rewatch that one. Like,
I know
that has one of my favorite scenes in a film this year. I think Ralph Fiennes is amazing, and Jack O'Connell going from bad to bad, with Sinners, and then this. It's like, that is a movie that should have been. They're saying that now they may not do the third one. I'm like, why? This is the film that I actually wanted, rather than 28 years later. I thought that was 28 years. Bone Temple was way more of a cohesive story, much more believable in the reaction of the characters and, circumstances going on. And the production design and cinematography was incredible in that. But oh, well, it didn't make that much because people, thought it was kind of going to be like 28 years later. It's like, well, then blame that one. Don't blame this one. Like, this one freaking rocked. Like, what am I talking about?
Yeah, because I truly did love the 20 years of Bone Temple. I thought she did a great job directing. And like, hey, Ralph Fiennes was fantastic. Jack O'Connor was great. Was great as usual. Well, ladies, I want to thank you once again for participating once again in my Women in Horror series. You are both fantastic. And of course, as always, as I always do in my film, what's coming up on Jen's Reviews from the Grave, Jen?
There'll be a few things. I'm going to take a gamble. There's a movie called The Whistler that has some Pet Cemetery vibes. It could be awful, but I'm going to check it out. Also going to do another Tales from the Crypt, and hopefully I can get to the theater to see the new Mummy movie as well as Faces of Death. So there's a lot. Sorry, I've had a coughing fit.
No.
Laryngitis.
Don't apologize. Believe me, again, it took me 3 weeks to get to a review for The Bride and Dolly. I get it with the cough.
So did you actually like Dolly?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty good. Yeah,
I really like Dolly because there's a lot of indie films that are out there that they don't bring like the story and all of the fundamental things that are so great with horror like Dolly did. And I think Dolly could be a new horror icon. And especially when I know they're working on a prequel, and I'm really looking forward to that, because I think the costume design and everything about the Dolly character is something that really can go a long, long way. And for a budget that's not, cajillion dollars and stuff like that. It's just this, when you have, you know, one of the things about independent films, when you have the money that you have, people know how to stretch that. People know how to do what they need to do, you know, to get it from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. or whatever it needs to be to get the job done. And I think Dolly does that in spades. Also, I got to make some jokes about Dolly because I got a bunch of Dolly Parton shirts and said that, you know, I was really thinking this was a Dolly Parton biopic and you guys really should advertise that it's not. And they're like, really? Not, no, I'm just shitting with you. I just, you know, and they're like, that's really funny. And I'm like, have no Dolly Parton fans complained about that? Because you might want to get her involved with a disclaimer that she's like, hey, y'all, this is not a movie about me. You know,
or she could, you know, endorse it. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
So, Katie, what's coming up on the Blonde in Front?
So I just got back from Panic Fest in KC. So I'm going to do a roundup from all the films that I saw because I'm counting. I think I saw 14 features.
Ooh.
I need to confirm because I saw a lot. There was one day I was there from like 11:20 a.m. until 2 a.m. So yeah, it was a long day, and you know, just the amazing experience I had. I'm behind in my Beyond Fest coverage where I saw Faces of Death. I'm recording another review for The Mummy this Wednesday on Kicking the Seats.
Did you like it?
I'm recording a review on The Mummy.
Spoiler, sorry. I've heard mixed things.
You know, the shirt that I got for The Mummy was brown.
Mm-hmm.
So that I'm gonna go along with the shirt.
Okay, I think I get where you're going. Okay.
Yeah, so do I.
There I am seeing Obsession.
I've been hearing good things about it.
I cannot wait.
Third time on May 13th.
That's one horror film. That's one horror film.
Number one film of the year. I will die on this hill. If you don't like it, that's okay that you're wrong. Because it is fantastic.
I've heard
from beginning to end. So many things about it. So
it's one thing when you do a love potion, and then unfortunately when you put horror behind it, and then that becomes even disaster.
There is a scene in that. I mean, especially when you see it with a crowd, which I was lucky enough to see it with a genre crowd both times. It was played at Beyond Fest and then at Panic Fest. That's when you need to see it with a crowd who is there that loves horror, that you get that just energy from. There are so many scenes in there that will make you uncomfortable, that'll make you cringe, that'll make you laugh, but there is a jaw-dropping scene that just keeps on going where I was just like, I mean, it's not the cutest face, but I was just like, oh my God, just stop. No. Oh, yeah, it's so good. It is.
I love trauma. Good. I love trauma in my horror.
Okay. All right. Once again, I want to thank Jen from Jen's Review of the Grave, and of course Katie from The Blind in Front for joining us in a special edition of Women in Horror. Why did the bride fail? Let's just hope once again we will not have to. Well, hoping the next time when we discuss a film like this, it's something positive about the film, and it did fantastic well, because definitely women need to get the respect that they deserve, and unfortunately, as much as I wanted this film to succeed, it did not, but I'm glad you did enjoy it.
Yeah.
I did.
I think this was a great discussion too. I think this was a great discussion.
This was a great discussion. And again, Jen, thank you. Be loud, be proud, like girl, say your piece,
I'm trying, I'm learning.
Yeah. And the bride, you get loud in that theater. I was the one who said, shh, be quiet, but it's like, you know what? No, actually, she didn't need to be quiet in the theater. Even if, there's a place and time, and that just wasn't it.
No.
But every other place, that's
Yeah.
where she should have, shouted from the rooftops.
I get you. I appreciate that. I do.
All right, once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as the Horror Miser Monty G, and always remember horror rules. All right, and please, everyone, stay safe out there.
Night, everyone. Bye.